takes, 2 or 3 hours out of his day to like work with younger pitchers, even like guys that aren't even in pro ball, like maybe a college guy's in there or a high school guy or whatever, basically give a pitching lesson and just like fill them with knowledge and, how to be the best pitcher that they can be.
Treat me like Jed Hoyer for a second here, and I go to you and I say, Austin, listen, we got a real interest in Trevor Bauer. Tell me why you think we should be one of the only MLB teams that actually gives this guy another shot. Should Trevor Bauer get another shot with the MLB? Should he get a shot with the Cubs? Well, I'm not going to be the one to make that decision. I'm going to let you make that decision after you listen to a really good friend of his, Austin Shumaker. Austin is creating content with Trevor on a daily basis over in Arizona with other guys like Eric Sim. And this is a guy who has been a bullpen catcher for the Cubs. He's in independent baseball. He's been around Trevor Bauer for the last 3+ years. We talk some Cubs. We talk some content creation. We have some fun with this. But really, at the end of the day, I'm trying to answer the question, who is Trevor Bauer? Is he the guy that everyone is like, no, I don't want to touch him because he is stirring the pot, he's a clubhouse cancer, or is he misunderstood? Is he a guy that actually has a heart? Is he a guy that actually cares about his other teammates, not just the guy that is yelling at Joey Votto or throwing a ball over the center fielder's head because he's mad that he missed a catch? I want to know who the real Trevor Bauer is, and Austin's the one to tell us that. So enjoy the conversation and let me know down below in the comments what you would do. Would you sign Trevor Bauer? Cubs fans, he is the most famous person to wear a Cubs uniform without knowing who he is. And his name is Austin Shumaker. And he's got, 75K on YouTube, 175,000 followers on Instagram, over 500K on TikTok. This dude is the content creator that you can just get lost in for hours and hours. Setup Nation, if you're listening or watching right now and you're like, well, what's like a piece of content I might have seen from this guy? Let me just answer that question for you.
Here's kind of fun. Oh! Nuts? You good?
Oh my God, dude. Like, okay, so for those of you that are listening on the podcast, jump over to the YouTube channel right now because it's literally going to make you cringe watching it. But that's a nut shot, and that is Eric Sim just standing over you, just being like, okay, it's time to get up, buddy. And then before you know it, what was that? The paramedics, the fire department? Who came?
Yeah, they called me an ambulance. So initially people thought that like I was like yelling and like making a scene like for content. Like they thought that like maybe I was just trying to like play it off, and then like they said eventually get kicked in. Like when I still on the ground screaming, they were like, no, like this is for real. So I thought immediately like I ruptured something. Like I couldn't get up, I couldn't walk. So I called the ambulance there. The paramedics came, EMTs, and then they just checked my vitals, make sure everything was good.
And then it happened to you again like 4 months later, right?
Yeah.
Do you wear a cup, dude?
Yeah, I wear a cup. And what's crazy, it was the same exact pitch in the same exact spot that Sim fouled off and hit me in the nuts.
Do you still have both?
I still have both somehow.
That's literally balls of steel, right? So I want to transition and I want to really talk about your friend and the guy that you work with on a daily basis, Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
And half of Cubs Twitter says, I don't want to touch him with a 39.5-foot pole. And the other half of Cubs Twitter says, dude wants to pitch for league minimum. Give him a chance. We need starting pitching. So before I get into should a major league team or should the Cubs sign Trevor Bauer, I just want to know, what is it like working with the guy and what do you see as this guy of who he is on a daily basis, working with him that much?
Yeah, I'm with him every single day, training next to him every day, catching his bullpens, catching his live at bats. So I'm with him every single day, and getting to know him behind the scenes has been awesome. Like he's a really great dude. He looks out for people. He always wants to help the younger pitchers. Like he's a built-in pitching coach with a Cy Young award-winning pitcher. We have a whole group of, I don't know, like maybe 15 guys. I don't know, maybe it's more than that. Training there, like we're at his facility. We're not paying anything for that. Like he's you know, supporting all these guys, working with them. We're getting to use, you know, his resources and everything free of charge for us, and getting to learn the game through him and like how he approaches it and how he's developed into this pitcher that he is now. But I mean, I've seen him on countless occasions take time out of his own day, because he's extremely busy, because I also work with him too, so I see how busy he is. Takes, you know, 2-3 hours out of his day to like work with younger pitchers, even like guys that aren't even in pro ball, like maybe a college guy's in there or a high school guy or whatever. Takes time out of his day to like basically give a pitching lesson and just like fill them with knowledge and, you know, how to be the best pitcher that they can be, because like he is extremely smart when it comes to pitching.
So how many years have you worked with him?
This would be the fourth year.
Okay. So I think the question that a lot of people have is, does he have a bad rap, or did he actually meet that reputation before, but now he's a quote unquote changed man? Like, what do you think the answer to that is?
No, I mean, I knew him before he signed the contract with the Dodgers, after he won the Cy Young in 2020, and he's been the same guy from that moment to who he is now. Like he's going to be straightforward, he's going to be honest, but he's going to get you better, and he's, you know, he devotes a lot of his time to helping other players achieve what they want to do. So
why do you think it is? I mean, I know he's outspoken. I know part of me just wonders if the sheer amount of content that he posts, is baseball just not ready for that? Is that why they look at this and say like, this guy is causing trouble? Or is this, to me, like all the things that you're saying sound like a guy that would be great to have on a pitching staff, but that's not how baseball views him right now.
Yeah, it's weird. It's, you know, you would think that baseball would want a guy that has a big impact on the younger generation and makes them want to watch the game of baseball. I mean, like I said, if he were to get signed, he's a pitching coach and he's a Cy Young award-winning pitcher day one, and he's going to go for league minimum. To me, that sounds like a no-brainer to sign him based on what I've seen. I know him individually as a person. I work with him every day. There's nothing there that would make me think a team shouldn't sign him. It really doesn't make any sense. And on top of that, when I caught him right after he won the Cy Young award, he is way better now than when he won that award back in 2020 when he won that?
Yep.
Yeah, he is a lot better now than when he won that award in 2020.
I want to come back to that in a second, because I really want to know why he's better. But so remind me to ask you that. Yeah. Do you think that for him to like get a real shot to come back to the major leagues, he's just going to have to like stop doing content and stop being like, you know, you still see the stuff from one of the videos that went viral is he was like, I was just tired of them, running their mouths. So I told him to shut the F up, you know, like just stuff like that. Does he just like have to basically say, I'm going to abandon everything that I am and just shut my mouth in order for someone to take me seriously again?
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know what it's going to take. I mean, I think you should take it, like, take him for who he is. Like, he's a good guy. Guys get along with him. He's going to help the younger pitchers. He's literally going to be a coach in your org without you having to pay him to be a coach. He's going to be a coach. He's going to be a dominant pitcher. He's going to be a leader for the pitching staff. Like, guys want to learn from him. His mentality is unlike any other mentality I've ever seen on the mound. It's incredible. And like when I go play in my season, you know, in indie ball, like guys know I work with them, and like pitchers going to me, they're like, hey, like, what's the difference between me and Trevor? Like, what is Trevor doing that I'm not? Like, they're like, I throw just as hard as Trevor. I do these things just like Trevor. Like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, honestly, like, it's your mentality. Like how he is wired on the mound. Like, you can't replicate that. Like, you have to learn it. You have to learn how to do that. Like, you can't just wake up one day and be that. You got to literally see that and have that like coached to you essentially, and learn that mentality.
You said that he's better today than he was when he was a Cy Young.
100%.
In what way?
So when I caught him or after he won the Cy Young, he did not have a changeup. His fastball velo was not anything crazy. Now he has the two main differences. His fastball velo is up, and he has a changeup. It's a splitter, I think is what he calls it, a split changeup. I don't know what he calls it now, but that on TrackMan on the numbers it profiles as a left-handed slider because that's how much it moves.
Wow.
And he throws it 88 miles an hour.
So what was the velocity?
88 miles an hour on his splitter.
Wow.
That moves like a left-handed slider. He added that to his arsenal plus a little bit of velo, and it's been night and day.
Now, you obviously have a lot of content with him. Mm-hmm. Has there ever been anyone with an organization that reaches out and asks the same questions that I'm asking, just in terms of like, who is the guy? Like, what is he all about? I guess I want to know, is there even any lines out there from other teams that are like giving him even a foot in the door at all?
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. I don't really ask. It's not really my place to ask. I can, like I said, the only thing I can say is from what I've seen. Like I can give an example right now. I'm at the facility 2 years ago with me and a couple other minor league pitchers, and one of them's in the big leagues now. And we're there. I'm catching a couple of bullpens for them. We're just there on our own. It was like a Saturday or Sunday, whatever. Nobody's at the facility. Trevor walks in at his facility that he's provided for us to work out at and do all these things at, that we have access to whenever we want. He comes in and was like, "Oh, I didn't think I'd see anybody here. Like, thought I'd just be here by myself." And we're like, "Oh, no, we're just going to throw a bullpen, whatever." And he was like, "Oh, like, what are you guys working on?" Pitchers tell him what he's working on. And he proceeds to delay all the stuff he was doing and works with them for like, I want to say like 2.5 hours.
Whoa.
Like breaking down their mechanics, breaking down like physics and throwing and how to just generate the most force in your throw and how to keep your arms safe and like all these different things that he's learned, and works with all of them. And then, we're running through it. Even I'm running through. I'm like, okay, well, this is just throwing. I'm a catcher. Like, I can learn how to throw better. So I'm doing it with him because I'm like, this can help me throw. And yeah, like he sat there, like didn't have to do that. Usually could have been like, "Hey, what's up, guys? What are you guys doing here?" And then we went about his day, delayed his entire workout for like 2.5 hours. Worked with those guys. One of those guys is in the big leagues now. I'm not too sure what the other guy's doing. I think he's still playing, but I haven't kept up with him in the last year or so. But like that right there is the prime example of what I can say of who he is and what he would bring to your team. And on top of that, a really, really good pitcher.
All right. So I'm Jed Hoyer. Treat me like Jed Hoyer for a second here. And I go to you and I say, Austin, listen, we got a real interest in Trevor Bauer. It's gotten to that point where we think like he actually would be a good fit for the team. Tell me why you think we should be one of the only MLB teams that actually gives this guy another shot based on the reputation. What would you say?
I would have to say that the stuff you see in the media about him is not true. All these things that have, are shining a bad light on him are coming from the media who don't know him personally. I know him personally. I'm around a lot of people who know him personally that enjoy being around him and getting to soak up his knowledge. He's a great guy. He's not what the media's made him out to be. And he would be a dominant pitcher on your team and your staff and would help you win a lot of games and save a lot of innings from the bullpen if you brought him on your team for essentially free, for league minimum.
All right. Well, Cubs fans, share this to your story, share with friends, share with Jed Hoyer. Like, I haven't heard anything in this conversation that leads me to believe that he would be a quote unquote cancer to a clubhouse, like a lot of people have said. So
I'll just go out and say this. So he does not really shine the light on the things that would make him look good in my eyes. Like, he's not, here's my camera, look at me, I'm doing this. My example is I was doing my point of view videos with the camera behind my head a couple years ago. Hitter fouled off a ball, literally first pitch of the live at bats. Trevor's pitching, fouls off a ball, shatters my phone screen, blows up my phone. My phone's broken. I'm broke, indie ball player, pretty much coming out of college, got no money. My phone's shattered. I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm gonna get a new phone now, but whatever. You know, I didn't make a big deal about it. Whatever. My phone broke. I was like, I'll go home. I'll figure it out, and we'll get it figured out. And like, this was for like a content video. Like, we have all the cameras going. It's for Trevor's content, whatever. And then afterwards, like, we had everybody together. Like, oh, the hitters win or whatever the video went. All the cameras are out. Like, Trevor easily could have been like, oh, I'm gonna, pay for Austin's phone. Like, here's this, whatever. Like, when all the cameras were off after, like, nobody was around, he came up to me and like gave me money and was like, hey, like, go get yourself a new phone. Like, really, like, on the low. Did not let anybody know he did it, and was like, go get yourself a new phone. Like,
That's cool.
Slid me money to go get a new phone. With like, he had no responsibility to do that at all. Like, there was no, he did not need to do that for me. But like, once again, he could have easily put that in the video and let everybody know he got me a new phone when it broke in the video. But like,
yeah, I mean, if you have to brag about it to the public, then what are your true intentions, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah. So it's like that, like, never
I
shared
love that.
Story, but I mean, I've shared that story with people, but not on a podcast. But that's, that's, to me, that shows what his character is. Like, there was nobody around. Like, nobody even knew he did that except
That's
me.
good, man.
Yeah,
that's really good. Austin Shumaker, thank you so much, man. This has been a lot of fun. And hey, let's see if maybe someone goes calling for Trevor Bauer because of this conversation. That would be cool. We'll see.
Would love nothing more than to see him pitch in the big leagues again.
Thank you, Austin.